You've met this person. Maybe you live with them. Maybe you are them. They don't cry at funerals. They don't flinch when things go wrong. Someone explodes at them and they just blink. Calm, unreachable, like there's glass between them and the rest of the world. People call them cold, robotic, heartless. But what if that's completely wrong? What if the person who shows the least emotion is actually carrying the most of it, just buried so deep they lost the key? Today, we're going inside the psychology of emotionally suppressed people. And by the end of this video, you'll understand something most people never figure out, even about themselves. Let's start with what this is not. This isn't about people who feel nothing. This isn't about sociopaths. This is about emotional suppression. People who feel deeply, sometimes overwhelmingly, but have learned that showing those feelings is not safe. Think about that. They're not empty, they're a dam. And a dam is under enormous invisible pressure all the time. So where does this come from? Why do some people build walls so high that even the people who love them can't see over them? It usually starts in childhood. Not always with one big trauma. Sometimes it's quieter than that. A child cries and gets told to stop. They get excited and get dismissed. They feel scared and no one validates it. So they learn something powerful. Emotion is weakness. Emotion causes problems. Emotion is embarrassing. And children adapt. They do what they have to do to survive. So they start suppressing. At first, it's a choice. Then it becomes a habit. Then it becomes who they are. By adulthood, they're not even aware they're doing it. Psychologists sometimes call this emotional blunting or link it to avoidant attachment. There's also something called alexithymia, which literally means no words for emotions. These people don't just hide feelings, they struggle to even identify them. Imagine reaching inside yourself for an emotion and finding nothing you can name. Just static. That's not a flaw, that's a wound. So what does this look like in real life? First, they intellectualize everything. Instead of saying, "I'm heartbroken," they say, "It was an interesting situation." Instead of, "I'm angry," they say, "I think there's been a miscommunication." They turn feelings into logic because logic feels safe. Second, they're calm in a crisis. While everyone else is panicking, they're the ones taking control, calling for help, making decisions, holding everything together. Not because they don't care, but because they've trained themselves to function under pressure. Third, they're uncomfortable with emotions, especially other people's. Not because they're cold, but because they were taught emotion is something to fix. So when someone cries, they either withdraw or try to solve the problem instead of just listening. Fourth, they have a hidden inner world. Some of the most emotionally quiet people feel the most deeply. They write things they never share. They feel things through music. They live entire emotional lives that no one else ever sees. Here's the part most people don't see. Suppressing emotion doesn't make it disappear. It just changes where it shows up. In the body, as tension, fatigue, insomnia. In sudden bursts of anger that seem to come from nowhere. Because it was never about that moment. It was everything finally spilling over. And in relationships, it creates distance. Partners often feel invisible, like they're loving someone through glass. They reach out, but the other person pulls inward, not out of cruelty, but out of habit, out of survival. The truth is, most emotionally suppressed people want connection deeply. They just don't know how to reach it without feeling overwhelmed. Here's the good news. This is not who you are. It's a pattern.
and patterns can change. But forcing someone to open up doesn't work. It usually pushes them further away. What actually works is safety, consistent, low-pressure, non-judgmental safety. Over time, the nervous system learns something new. Feeling is not dangerous, and slowly the walls start to come down. Therapy can help, especially approaches that work with the body, like somatic therapy or EMDR, because emotional suppression isn't just in the mind, it's in the body, in tight muscles, shallow breathing, a jaw that's been clenched for years. And if you see yourself in this, understand this: you built that wall for a reason. It protected you. You don't have to destroy it. You just have to learn how to open a door. People who don't show emotions aren't cold. They're not broken. They're not empty. They're people who learned that emotion was a risk and have been paying the price ever since. If this made you think of someone or yourself, leave a comment below. And if you want more deep psychology content like this, subscribe, because here we don't do surface level. I'll see you in the next one.